Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the absolute wildest, most scientifically fascinating paradox in human history. I mean, think about it. The last time you went to a wedding, a backyard barbecue, or just, survived a really brutal Tuesday at work, what was waiting for you? A drink, right? About 2 billion of us globally consume this stuff. We use it to celebrate, we use it to mourn, we relax with it, and we use it to connect. But here's the kicker. We are enthusiastically consuming what is, definitively, the world's most harmful substance. Okay, let's dive into this because the contrast is just staggering. On paper, alcohol is a deadly poison. And I'm not being poetic here. It's a literal biological weapon that kills more people every single year than terrorism, homicides, wars, and car accidents combined. We're talking 3 million deaths annually. Frankly, if alcohol didn't exist and someone tried to invent and pitch it today, no way. It would never be legalized. The disease, injury, and destruction it causes are just completely off the charts. So this brings us right to the massive cognitive dissonance we have to confront today. If it's literally a poison, if it's so incredibly deadly, why does it feel so amazing? And we've got to be honest with ourselves here, right? Mind-blowingly, alcohol is amazing. There's a huge reason we absolutely love it. It totally transforms how we experience the world. It hits that perfect sweet spot of gentle relaxation, a little bit of liquid courage, and deep companionship. We basically cling to the thing that hurts us the most simply because it makes us feel incredible and helps us share our lives with the people around us. Part 1. The biological Trojan horse. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the whole magic trick actually starts. We have to look at its origin story. Long before it's flavored with caramel or infused with fruit, alcohol is fundamentally a biological weapon. It's a toxic chemical produced by yeast during the fermentation process, literally designed to completely wipe out its microscopic competition. And what do we humans do? We just take that biological weapon, mix it with some water, and drink it. Let's see how this builds. When you actually take a sip of this weapon, a microscopic swarm literally floods your body. Just one sip sends sectillions of alcohol molecules rushing straight into your stomach and small intestine. From there, it's a straight shot to your body's main detox center, the liver. But guys, here's the catch. Your liver can only process about one tiny sip of beer every 5 minutes. So unless you're drinking at an absolute snail's pace, your liver gets completely overwhelmed, and this massive swarm of molecules just bypasses it and floods directly into your brain. And right here is where the chaos and the magic really kicks in. The alcohol starts this incredible, complex sabotage. It numbs your neurons, just slowing everything down. It stuns your prefrontal cortex, which is your brain's main control room for decision-making and self-control. That's what gives you that famous disinhibition. But crucially, it triggers a huge rush of endorphins, those amazing feel-good molecules tied directly to human connection. Suddenly, those invisible walls of insecurity we all carry around, they just melt away. The conversations flow, the smiles last longer, and the heavy weight of being human just doesn't feel like yours to carry alone anymore. It is quite literally the ultimate social lubricant. Part 2. Decaying from the inside. But of course, the magic of that social high is only half the story, because once the party ends, the brutal physical decay begins. See, alcohol can dissolve in both water and fat, which gives it a VIP all-access pass to invade almost every single cell and tissue in your entire body. When your body desperately tries to break it down, the alcohol actually transforms into a chemical called acetaldehyde. And get this new chemical is even more toxic than the alcohol itself. It wreaks absolute havoc on your tissues and DNA. Inside your brain, this toxic byproduct physically shrinks your neurons and snips their connections, which directly spikes your risk of dementia as your thinking slows down and memories start to fade. And timing matters so much here, especially for any younger viewers tuning in. The human brain isn't fully wired up until your mid-20s. So heavy drinking before that age is literally like smashing wet cement before it has set. For someone in their early 20s, just a single blackout binge drinking episode can cause lingering mental glitches, like walking into a room and forgetting why, or struggling to learn new things for up to an entire year. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer scope of that systemic cellular decay. It's staggering. It triggers 8 different types of cancer, causing 400,000 deaths a year. It absolutely wrecks fat metabolism in the liver, slowly turning it to fat and causing irreversible scars known as cirrhosis, killing 600,000 people annually. Add a weakened heart to the mix, and that's another 500,000 deaths. And the real kicker? Scientists have found these health risks can kick in at an average consumption of less than just 1 beer or 1 glass of wine a day. Which leads us to a really massive misconception. When we hear the word alcoholism, most of us immediately picture the extremes, right? Somebody stumbling down the street, clutching a bottle, or just constantly loud and out of control. But the reality is so much more silent. Right now, around 400 million people struggle with alcoholism globally, but up to 50% of them fly completely under the radar. These are highly successful professionals, straight-A students, reliable parents. They handle all their responsibilities perfectly, but they're casually drinking, say, 4 beers a day. Because alcohol is just so universally accepted, this silent, dangerous dependence is entirely ignored.
Part 3. The tragic blast radius. So we've looked at the individual body, but let's zoom out. Alcohol is entirely unique compared to any other substance because of its unmatched, devastating ability to destroy completely innocent bystanders. That exact same numbness that makes a party so fun, it morphs people into incredibly clumsy, dangerous risk-takers. Every single year, a staggering 500,000 people are killed in clumsy, alcohol-fueled accidents.
Out of that 500,000, 300,000 happen out on the road in car crashes. But here is perhaps the most heartbreaking data point in this entire explainer. Of those 300,000 fatalities, more than half of the victims hadn't touched a single drop of alcohol. Over 50%. They were totally innocent bystanders who lost their lives simply because somebody else made the choice to drink. And that blast radius expands straight into violence, too. Roughly 50% of all violent crimes and sexual assaults are committed by intoxicated offenders. In fact, drunk offenders are responsible for about 100,000 crime-related deaths annually. To put that into perspective for you, that is the equivalent of a city the size of Pisa in Italy being completely massacred every single year. And of course, we absolutely cannot talk about innocent bystanders without acknowledging the most innocent of all. 600,000 babies are born every single year with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. This is a devastating, lifelong condition caused entirely by drinking during pregnancy. The scale of the collateral damage here isn't just bad. It's nothing short of a global catastrophe. Part 4, connecting without the crutch. So the crucial point is that we are faced with this massive paradox, a substance that brings us incredible joy, but exacts an apocalyptic toll. But recently, society, especially Generation Z, is actually trying to leave this chemical crutch behind. Gen Z is drinking significantly less than their parents did. In the US, the number of 18-year-olds who have even tried alcohol is down 25%, and adolescent binge drinking has plummeted by an unbelievable 50%. That is a massive cultural victory. That means fewer accidents, fewer hospital beds filled, and fewer lives quietly derailed. But let's remember exactly why we started drinking in the first place. Human interaction is just incredibly messy, and let's face it, we are naturally awkward creatures. So while youth drinking is way down, look at the social cost. The share of young people actually seeing their friends face-to-face has plummeted by 50%. Party attendance is down 30%. Loneliness and mental health struggles have absolutely skyrocketed. We might be dropping the crutch, but it turns out our original problem, human awkwardness, remains entirely unsolved. Which brings us to the ultimate question for us today. Look, alcohol has been this powerful, borderline, magical tool for sharing and enjoying life for thousands of years. But if we're finally waking up to the profound biological and societal decay it causes, we have to find a new path. Can we actually learn to connect, to rejoice, and to build that shared human confidence without relying on a toxic chemical? We desperately need to actively build healthier tools to share memories and melt away those walls of insecurity moving forward.
The future is completely unwritten. 2 billion people drink, 3 million die every single year. The stakes literally could not be higher. So what's your pact going to be? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this leaves you eager to explore some new, healthier ways to genuinely connect with the people around you.